Well, it's another fine spring morning here in Central Florida. I'm gonna do a little work today on making a little enclosing part of my porch on my smokehouse. I'm making a little storage building. Um, Instead of buying a shed or something, I'm doing it so it matches everything else I've done. I'm gonna do with the live edge clapboard siding. Um, I have not quit working on my smooth rifle. I'm sorry. Right now, the barrels that a machinist has got it, and I'm having him cut my dovetails for my sights. I can do it by hand, but eh, I'm trying to make this rifle, you know, as good as I can make it. And so I believe in letting the man that knows his trade do his trade. All right. Whoa! Man, about busted my butt. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to work with this live edge slabs. You can get these down at the sawmill, get them cut them for you. Um, Probably for half price what you can buy, a cut board, a 1x10, 1x12, something like that. But what you have to do, being that it's live edge, there's a trick to get it cutting square ends on it. I'm gonna show you that this morning. But the first thing we have to do, a little draw knife here, made out of a file, made it there in my forge. I clean off that bark. Because that bark, you don't want to put it up there with the bark on it, because that's where the bugs like to get. And they'll throw enough to eat it up. All right, now, a lot of people saying, well, that's just old yellow pine. That stuff ain't worth the shit. Well, let me tell you, this southern yellow pine that we have here in this part of the state, if it's not farm raised, it's good wood. It'll last a long time. The main thing, the thicker to it, don't let it touch the ground. If it don't touch the ground, it lasts a long time. I've got it on all my outbuildings, and been a pretty good while. Pretty good while. Now, it's almost impossible to take a live edge board, that bark out of the way, and put a square on there and get a square cut. So I'm gonna cut this off while I'm working with the board the size I need it, and I'll show you the trick. Just hold on, bear with me. Gotta pick up something to hold that board up. We're just using old oak limbs laying on the ground. That'll work. I get set up and make these videos. I think I got everything I need. Well, doggone it, seems like every time I forgot something. I think that's what they call sometimers. All right, let me buzz this off right quick. And we'll square it up. All right, now the trick to this, you take your live edge board. You can see my bevel going that way and that way. You turn that sucker upside down. It measures from outside to outside. And this end is 9 3/4 inches. So you divide that in half. Put your mark. Go to the other end. All right, that end was 9 inches. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna draw me a straight line. Just a little ways. All right. Now I found center. And I'm gonna square my board. So what I do, you put your square on that line. Let me see if I can get this a little closer for you. All right, so I'm gonna put my square on that line I scribed in the middle. And just flip my square over. And what I do, I just connect the dots here, you know, from that line there. All right, now when I cut that, I'll have a board with square on both ends. Then the next thing I do, I'll measure up. I see this was 9 inches. So, kind of look at your bevel. It's about a 1/2 inch on that board. So what I'll do, I'll go up, I'll cut back 3/4, mark that, and then that is 3 3/4. All right, now I'll come up from that center line, 3 3/4, put my mark. All right, now that's ready to put a straight edge on. All right, now I have a board, once it's all cut, that'll go up nice and straight. And let's see, I've got 8.5 inches. 8.5 inches there. And normally what I do, I'll put a mark on my studs, which I'll do that in a minute. I'll put a mark on my studs where I want to put this straight edge that I'm going to cut. Now, this board, like I said, there's 8.5 inches there that'll be to the weather. And I'll probably go 8.5, I'll probably go 7 inches to the weather. Only be 7 inches of board showing to the, you know, to the weather, as they say. All right, now, I'll mark that on the studs, get a level line, you know, where I'm going to put it. Take it to that line, shoot it on. Then the next board I cut, when I get it to this point, I'll measure it. Well, if it works out, say it's only a 6.5 inch board, well, I'll take 1.5 inches off of that, you know, which puts it down to 5.5. Well, I'll come up from the top of this square, 5.5, mark it, 5.5, mark it. That's where it goes. In this way, as the board's changing in size, I keep them level. You can't level it here, but you can level it on this square edge you're going to cut. Simple procedure. I don't know that the old timers went to this much trouble when they use this stuff, but You know, this is a cheaper wood that you can get, because a lot of times if the pine log's real limby, it don't make good timbers, but it's perfect for this, because actually the more of that you have, to me, the better it looks. But, you know, it ain't that hard. All right, I'm going to cut this one off, and when I actually start installing it, I'll show that to you too. That's old Florida Cracker. Y'all subscribe, keep watching.